Hiya, you know where I am, obviously, but a slightly different angle. This is the Bridgewater Canal. It's one of the oldest canals in the world, 1761. It's older than the United States Constitution. And less than 100 yards in that direction is the Manchester Ship Canal. It was built so that ships, that's why it's called the Ship Canal, can get from the ocean into Manchester, bypassing a place called Liverpool, which is a small town just a little bit further along the Ship Canal. This area is rich in industrial history, and Manchester United's Old Trafford, this has been the home since 1909. In the same location. Now, everything around this has changed, even in my lifetime. I can remember big billowing factories around here. It was a pretty awful place. And when I first came to Old Trafford in 1984 to see a game when I was 10, to see that green pitch in the middle of this industrial, dirty, decaying area of Trafford Park was like, wow. I swear it was one of the greatest moments of my life, seeing that. And very few bizarre ones. Seeing the Mississippi for the first time, whoa. Seeing the Manchester United pitch at Old Trafford was one of them. And it's been quite a week for this old stadium, except it's not old. Behind me is the North Stand. Most of it was built in 1995. It seats 25,300. So when United fans sing, we've got one stand bigger than your ground, to places like Bournemouth, it's this stand. It was huge. No one thought anyone would build a stand as big as this again. But actually, the rest of the Premier League are playing catch-up. No stadium in the Premier League is as big as Old Trafford. But if we go back to 2006, Old Trafford held 76,000. The next biggest ground was St James's Park in Newcastle, 52,000. And that was about it. Next season, Liverpool, Manchester City, Arsenal, Tottenham, West Ham will all have stadiums with more than 60,000 seats. Everton got their new ground, also by the waterside. And Manchester United, well, they're going to be here, but we've all seen the news this week. We've all got different opinions on the news. Some people love the idea of a new stadium. Some people are horrified by it, and that's fine. Everyone's allowed different opinions. I've long maintained and I've long written that something needs to be done. And for me, it was always about redeveloping Old Trafford, expanding Old Trafford. The demand is there, even when Manchester United are bad. And the ground's a bit lopsided because you've got one stand bigger than your ground, but on the opposite side, hemmed between the main Manchester to Liverpool railway and the pitch, is a much smaller main stand. Used to be the biggest stand. It's not the biggest stand now at all. It's still big. But as new stadiums are built around the world, and clubs United should be comparable to, such as Barcelona and Real Madrid, Old Trafford has started to look a bit dated, a bit weathered, a bit tired. I was walking around it last week. Even the fonts, they're a bit 2008. You know, the way it's all lettered. That's fine. That's not going to win you football matches. But it's tired. So we saw the plans, and that it's been decided that a new stadium is the way forward. Again, people are for and against that, and we saw a pretty strong reaction to that. I was like, whoa, that is a bit of an assault on the senses. And then I looked into it and studied the different details. And I've got to be honest, and this is just for me, with each day I felt a bit better about the new stadium. I don't know if it's going to be built. Don't reply to this and go, it's never going to be built. This video is not about that. This is about aesthetics. It's about the concept of moving or not moving. It's about this whole area, which is underutilised, pretty desolate. There's sort of low-level industrial buildings here. There's hardly anybody walking around. Manchester needs housing. It needs affordable housing, just like a Manchester United home needs affordable areas for local supporters. But this is a really privileged site that Manchester United have got. And kudos to Martin Edwards, and not many people would say this, for buying up huge tracts of land around Old Trafford, because it means United have got the option of building a new stadium. If you look at Chelsea, they're completely hamstrung, partly because it's London and Cockneys like to build on every single square inch of land. But United, there are issues, there are plots of land that need to be bought, there's a small issue of a rail terminal, but there is an option of building a new stadium. Now, when I saw the stadium, I thought, that is a bit different. That is not another bowl. And I saw people going, it's just another bowl. No, I'm sorry, it isn't. It's designed by a world-class architect, Sir Norman Foster, who just happens to be a Mancunian. I think we should celebrate that. He doesn't come cheap. But hearing him, the man who designed the Reichstag in Berlin, you know that road in France where you seem like you're flying through the sky? I went on it once, and it was so memorable. I've forgotten the name of it. The Viaduct de Millau Viaduct. Is world-class. And I saw people this week moaning, no, doesn't look like a football stadium, I'm not having this. My wife's an architect, and she just said, get in the real world. You don't realise how lucky you are having one of the best free architects in the world, in her opinion, being able to do your football stadium. Because there's a lot of crap football stadiums. There's a lot of stuff what's thrown up cheaply. Now, when I see that huge 100,000 metre cover, I'm about, whoa, I need to... This needs some getting used to. And it still does, if I'm honest. I quite like the idea of it. It has been known to rain in this city before. Issues like ticket prices and atmosphere always come at me because they're all sort of intertwined. I don't want a Disney-fied stadium. I've been to so many American stadiums and they blow your mind. And then you see it's $100 to park your car closest to the stadium and $18 for a beer plus a tip. And a big tip, because there's machines that go, do you want to tip 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%, plus tax, and another tax on top of that. And that sort of stuff scares me, but that's the American economy. Great Britain is very different, and what people are prepared to pay here, I think, is also very different. 100,000, bring it on. Love it. Bold. Barca is going up to 105. Madrid are at 82 and trying to go bigger. Manchester United are one of the biggest free clubs in the world. The demand is there. Get that advantage back with more seats. The space is here. So much good can come from developing this area. I didn't see any car parks. I saw football pitches. I saw homes for people. And I might sound idealised. And the images are always idealised, aren't they? Because they want to appeal to people. And I'm sure there'll be loads of twists and turns, even with the design. But I'm starting to feel all right about it. I'm starting to think this could be wow in a city which needs more wow. A city which needs more parks, which needs more attractions, where people say to me, I'm going to Manchester next week, where should I go? I'm like, and there are places now, and this city's changed mostly for the better in the last 20 years. It's going to be a huge change if Manchester United build a new home. And I don't think mentally I'm quite ready to see that go down at the moment. I'm just not. And everyone's different. And I respect that people's ashes are scattered on that pitch there. But I also hear people say, could the new one not be a bit like Old Trafford? This is Trigger's Broom. That's 95. That's 74. That's 2000. Round the corner there is 93. And 2001, and it's not beautiful. The roof's not beautiful. The roof sweeps too low. I love Old Trafford. It's a very good football stadium. I don't buy these lazy tropes that it's falling down. It's not. It's still a very, very good football stadium. But it has slipped, and others have built better stadiums. And I also get the point, a football ground should be a football ground, but times are changing. A new stadium is not going to be for me. It's going to be for the future. And I wonder back when Manchester United moved here, whether people in East Manchester were going, club's not what it was, we should be moving over there. It's always changing. And I'm just getting my head around the idea of a new one, and I'm all right about it. I can't tell you how it's going to be funded. Well, ultimately the fans are going to be paying for it, aren't they? But when I see the size of it, when I see the cutaways, the triple tiers, the massive Stretford end, and that tower, yeah, I'm all right. I'm okay about it. I think too many people in this part of the world are of the attitude that change is not good. And I think change can be good. I don't know whether it will happen, but I'm feeling much better about it. And if they say tomorrow, Old Trafford stays and we're going to redevelop it, I'd be okay with that as well. It's been a big week for this stadium. The new one can take advantage of the canal next to it, of the canal just over there. This could be a really desirable place to live. You've got 3 metro lines within a 10-minute walk of here. You've got 4 dual carriageways. You could have a new railway station on that side. Any development should benefit the existing residents. People in Gorse Hill, just over there. I grew up, my first 5 years were 1 mile that way. My next 18 years were 2.5 miles that way. Then I spent a year hundreds of yards from here. So from this part of the world, I've got lots of family around here. And for too long, Manchester United paid no attention to the people on the doorstep. These people have got to be consulted. Fans have got to be consulted about what comes next. But amid the doom which has surrounded the club this season, for obvious reasons, about the Glazers, about the poor performances, I do see a shard of light. I'm pretty optimistic. I hope I'm right. Thanks for watching.